Wake 'em up, 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 wake 'em up. It's time to wake up the sleeping. We're live.
What's going on, y'all? This is Woke2x. We're here again, man. We got Corey, we got Zay, and today we got a special guest right now named Win. My boy, he's an artist right now. He's in the music industry. He's an entertainer. How you feeling today, Win?
Oh, it's a good day, bro. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling up. I'm
good. And the first thing we're gonna talk about is what, Corey? Take it away.
Okay, so today we got a bill that was passed in California, and it is a bill that stops felonies for sex with minors.
Okay, I seen this bill. This is crazy, and you know why it's crazy too? Because it's such a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. You get what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, these Hollywood elites and these higher people that are getting caught and taken down for being pedophiles and messing with young little girls, now all of a sudden the bill is getting passed where they won't get in trouble for it. You know what that's going to cause? It's going to cause chaos, and people are going to deal with it themselves. The people are going to deal with it themselves, and they're going to take it into their own hands if the law won't. If you got somebody out here trying to mess with my little nieces and stuff like that, it's gonna be a real big problem. And if the law won't do something about it, the people will. That's how it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And that's what I think they're trying to do in a lot of ways anyway. You know what I mean? The Democratic Party and stuff like that, they want to take away law. They want to take away stuff like that. You know what I mean? They want chaos in the streets. They want nonsense like this. It's crazy. And that's just one of the biggest hits to the face where people should actually know, yo, okay, something's going on. You know what I mean? If people aren't waking up yet, their alarm clock has just been set.
Yeah, man. But really, it's the people voting on the bills that come up. So the people actually voted on this, bro. You know, the people voted to pass bills like this.
What people though? What people? I didn't hear nothing about nothing. I didn't hear nothing about that.
You got to be in the loop. So when these things come up, you know, you can either vote yes or no, you know, yay or nay. And the people said yay to the fact that pedophiles will no longer be charged with felonies. So that means, I believe, when they get out of prison, they might not even have that not that they won't have a record, but they won't it won't follow them, because you know felonies follow you for life.
You trying to tell me that sex offenders, registered sex offenders, their whole past is going to erase now?
I don't know if their past will erase, but I know when you get a felony, that's for life, right? And if it's not a felony, it's a misdemeanor. And misdemeanors after a certain amount of time can go away. Like you get a DUI or something like that after like 10 years, it can go away. So
if you're saying the people voted for that, it comes to my mind like it just sounds like it has to be rigged in some kind of way. I don't see how the people I know, you know,
I can for sure see how it could be written in certain ways. Because what I'm thinking in my mind is, I try to see both sides. You feel me? And the only thing that I could find relative to anything that I've experienced, not personally, but you know, with family members or friends or even friends of friends, is, you know, we've heard stories of, you know, men being deceived about age, and then, you know, after that comes out, they have to deal with the repercussions of that. And you know, in this case, that would help some of these guys, or even women, you know, some of these people who have had those experiences to where, you know, they've laid with somebody unknowingly, and then after the fact they have to, you know, register as a sex offender, and really in their mind and how everything was perceived one way, this person was of age. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but
in my mind,
yes, I believe that's the silver lining, right? That's the silver lining in something that is overwhelmingly going to affect children.
Right, though.
You know what I'm saying? And like actual pedophiles.
That's the small part to where I'm like, okay, like that's the only way that could have been delivered to me, and me say, okay, I understand this. Like that is that I see why that would be the case. But then you flip the side, and it's a big flip. It's a big flip to where you look at all these people who are knowing and manipulating the kids to believe something that it's not. You know what I'm saying? And now, in the mind of the law, that's not frowned upon based on this law being passed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
man.
bill is stupid.
I look, California has been going down a very, very slippery slope. Okay. And, you know, California has been one of those states, before I was into politics and things like that, this has been going on in California as far as passing certain bills that when you really take a look closer, and the insider or you get some insight on it, there's things that have passed that are okaying, things that are wrong in the eyes of God and in the eyes of anybody who has any type of morals. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like children, man. We've been talking about it, bro. Our last episode, I've been putting out videos about the large amount of child sex trafficking that's going on, pedophilia that's going on, these toys that are coming out with subliminal messages that these CEOs are
Right.
putting out and not saying, it's like, so yeah, man, it's going to hell in the handbasket real fast. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get up out of here.
Yeah, man. I think they're trying to plant a lot of things in these kids' subconscious minds. You know what I mean? Because when we're children, man, some things we go through, it gets planted in the back of our minds. You know what I mean? And a lot of it doesn't come out till we're older, and a lot of it comes out in ways we don't even realize it's coming out. So I figure they're trying to put things in children's minds so that when children get older, their subconscious mind will be like, oh, this is okay, this is all right. I mean, if you really think about it, man, the older we grow, the younger generation just keeps getting worse. Okay,
Mm,
and my generation was bad. Um, as far as like sexual activity and stuff like that amongst the young generation, now it's like it's bad with that, and it's bad with drugs, and drugs are being uh
Glorified.
glorified on a high level by kids. Okay, 15-year-olds is what I mean, stuff like that is addicted to Xannies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We got children like that. There used to be things that was hidden. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It's being glorified now. Who's telling what's gonna happen in a generation to come? If there will be one, if God allows there to
exactly.
even be
That's
one.
what I was about to say.
You
Because the
get
way the
me?
world is going right now, it's looking like it's the end of all.
At the end of the day, it's our responsibility as, for one, as a parent, and two, as a community. They always say that it takes a village. You know, and I feel like it's our responsibility now to be more intact with our youth. You know what I'm saying? To be more
Proactive.
definitely
Right.
proactive is for
Yeah.
sure the word, and get ahead of some of these things, because I for sure have been victim to, not even I've left my kids to be victim to learning stuff that wasn't from me, and it can start something as simple as, you riding in a car and you hear them singing the words to the song, you like,
Right.
I didn't even know you knew this,
Right.
and that's me dropping the ball, of me not being aware of what's coming into their gates, their eyes and their ears, and then what's coming out of that as a result. you know so we're
Right.
aware of these things, and although we are alone didn't have the power to prevent these things from happening, we still have the power to mold our kids and our youth to be aware of these things. Like
Yeah.
that's the takeaway from all of this, is that we're living in this time, but we're aware of it, and we have to make sure that they're aware. We have to be of it. We have to be in it, but not of it.
There you go.
Right.
Absolutely. That was a
Agree.
great way
100%
to
with
end that one. That was real. All right.
Yeah.
Next we got Postal Carriers Union endorses Biden, warns that survival of USPS is at stake. Okay, that last part was complete and utter garbage. Okay, so look, this is why I wanted to bring up this in this part of the show. This is why I wanted to be second. So you know that since this whole COVID thing been going on and the virus and the lockdown and all that, they are not allowing us to go in and vote in person, and they want us to do mail-in voting. And I've already
Of course they do.
exposed in yeah, I've already exposed in another episode the fraud that was taking place with a mail carrier, right?
Hmm.
So I'm gonna show that again so people could see the article. But for me, it's like this election, man, I don't know if it's gonna go the way, we need it to go. And by that I mean, even if, and I'm not saying this for Win, because I know Win might not be a Trump supporter. I'm saying this for me and other Trump supporters out there. Even if Trump was to win in a landslide, right? I believe that there's going to be something that takes place with the mailing where they're going to say it was some type of funny business or this or that happened. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
some
why
type
they
of
want to
fraud,
do that. That's why they
you
want
know?
to do that, so they can, make us some kind of lie. But yeah, of course they want to do that, man. They want to do so much different things for Biden. You know what I mean? They can't even have I just seen something today where a black woman went up to the stage and said,
Hello, my name is Portia Bennett. I'm just gonna be honest, Mr. Biden. I was told to go off this paper, but I can't. You need the truth.
this man, when people want to ask questions, and he's on a podium, he says, okay, the staff had some people they want to pick out for questions. They know who they want to ask already. This man can't even pick out his own freaking people that want to ask him questions. He can't finish a sentence. I don't understand how the people can vote for somebody that can't even finish a sentence.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years. And stop your boast about never being seen at what you can do anything. You always talk about your ability to negotiate.
You know what I mean? People's narrative about Trump is racism, racism, racism. But once they drop that narrative, they have no more argument. You know what I'm saying? And even that narrative, when people say, I'll be like, okay, well, show me where he's being racist against black people without it being an edited clip. And I ain't got nothing yet. I'm just like, what is going on? People are so brainwashed by the media that's been portrayed. The media is ridiculous, man. It can really brainwash people to the point where I was just telling Wayne today, if I don't find myself Republican or Democratic. I like to look at the better person I think should lead the free world or whatever. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's Trump over Biden. Now, when you tell somebody this, or somebody tells me like they're supporting Biden, I don't get upset. I don't be like, yo, you're dumb, you're this, you're that. I might try to tell them a couple political facts. I don't get upset. You know what I mean? But you tell somebody you're a Trump supporter, they're so brainwashed. They're so brainwashed that they get mad at you. They get upset about you. That should be something alone that makes you be like, okay, this ain't right.
It's a little
Why
weird.
would you get mad at somebody for the political views? You get what I'm saying? And then if you look at the facts of what's going on, Trump's been in office for 3 years or going on 4 years. Biden's been in the office for 40 plus years. What do you think he's going to do different coming in now? I mean, when you think about that, man, it's just you put the facts on 2 plates of what each one has done. One has done more in 3 years than one has done in 40 years. One has done way more racist stuff than whatever you're claiming this one done. You get what I'm saying? One didn't even want his kids to go to school with black people because he thought it was going to be a jungle. You get what I'm saying? One keeps saying racist things. If you vote for Trump and you ain't black, said black people aren't diverse. Keeps doing racist stuff. You get what I'm saying? And they don't blow that up on the media. Why? You know what I mean? But Trump does something, gets edited clips. You put edited clips in somewhere, and then they blow the mess up out of that. You know what I'm saying? You know how rigged CNN is? I was up about 30 minutes to an hour going down CNN tweets. This is how rigged they are. Every time you see a Joe Biden thing, it's something good. You're something good, something good. Keep going down. Come out here. Something good. Boop. Trump thing bad. Something good, something good. Democratic Party. Nancy Pelosi, good, good, good. Boop. Trump bad. Trump bad. Good, good, good. Democratic, good, good. Trump bad. CNN is so rigged. It is corrupt. It's ridiculous. Get out of character.
It's a word for this. All right. And we learned this in school. When the Holocaust happened and the Nazis were trying to get the people to feel how they felt about the Jews, right? They used posters and they would depict the Jews with, exaggeratedly large noses and crazy looking features and made them look like monsters, And you see enough of this and you don't do your research. Half of us may even know Jewish people and don't even know that they Jewish, you know? So you could be walking around with somebody that's Jewish and not even know it because your idea of what this person is has been painted and expressed like this is what it is. And it's done to the extent to where you don't question it. It's called propaganda. And that propaganda led to 6 million plus deaths.
I'm glad you just said that. Yes, bro. What you just said is perfect, a perfect analogy for what is happening right now. There was just a shooting the other day of a Trump supporter, right? You can hear in the background the person saying, "Hey, we got one, a Trump supporter." Then you see like two or three shots go off. I was killed for being a Trump supporter. And then afterward, you see Antifa and the organization of Black Lives Matter. They're just saying how, well, I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll that clip. Let y'all check that out.
We can take out the trash on their own. I am not sad that a fascist died tonight.
But they're basically saying how they didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Not only did they not care, but they were happy that this Trump supporter was shot for being a Trump supporter. But what does that go back to what you were just saying? Right? When you've demonized a group and when you've painted them to be Nazis and you've painted them to be
brainwashed them to a certain extent.
Brainwashed them, right?
For sure. Because the mass, and I don't want to speak too generally, but for what I understand, the perception of a Trump supporter is a good old boy. You know what I'm saying? Is a redneck. Trump support goes in line with support of the Confederacy. Like, this is our perception. This is what we've been shown. So when we think of Trump supporters, then we think of people who we have probably dealt with in our lives and had unpleasant experiences with, you know?
Right.
So already Trump supporter, and if you're a Trump supporter and you don't identify like that person, then somehow you may be accepted of that person's behavior. Although the Trump supporter that's being painted may actually be a person. We're going to take this one person's flaws and apply them to the whole capacity of people that fall under whatever line it is that you want to relate them to, you know? And I'm not speaking as a Trump supporter. I'm speaking as an analyst of human nature, you know, how we do things. And that in itself is an issue that we have to think for ourselves.
Look, I'm gonna capitalize on what bro just said. This is so crazy. Chelsea Handler tweeted and said, "Trump supporters, imagine a white man being shot by a black police officer in the back multiple times in front of his children by a black police officer. Now imagine it happening once a week. Do you think white people would tolerate an administration leave and no arrest?" What are you talking about? She's talking like there's only white people, like he just explained, white rednecks supporting Trump. What is she talking about? That's how they brainwash you. That's how they brainwash you into thinking that is the only people that support that dude. And that's how they brainwash you thinking that he only does have white supremacists. That's how they brainwash you thinking that he is with the KKK or the white supremacists or, you know, just radicals. That's how they brainwash you. That's how they brainwash people who are asleep and don't do their own research and don't look for things, because people will read that and be like, dang, yeah, she's right. Trump supporters are like this. They're like that. But the truth is, he got all kind of minorities backing him up. The ones that actually do research and aren't just looking at media, he got all kind of minorities backing him up, man. Because when you look at the facts, the fact is Trump is somebody who's doing great things for America in general, not just talking about it and not doing it after they win. Period.
Which Democrats have done for years and years and years. Right? There's a very, very good documentary called Uncle Tom, and it goes into the history, right? And the history dealing with specifically black people and the Democratic Party, right? And the Republican Party. And I think a lot of people would gain a lot from watching it. I think y'all should check that out. But yeah, just the demonization, bro. The demonization of Trump and his supporters is leading to a lot of violence.
I was telling you a couple months ago when he was like, "Do you like Trump?" And I was like, I don't know much about him not to like him. I hear what people say, but I ain't never did no research. I'm not the type of person who's gonna listen to what people say and stuff like that without me doing research. There's people out there who are robots, brother. They're robots, man, and they get implanted this information and really think it's true without going in and doing research themselves, and that's scary. That's scary.
There's for sure levels to it, though. You know, it's
Yeah.
like partially. I feel like should we blame those who aren't conscious? Because it's not just the fault of the person who's taking in this information. You feel me? Like the entities that are doing the propaganda are making us believe things that are fallacies, are recognizing the fact that a lot of the targets to those people, excuse me, a lot of the targets of this misinformation have dealt with some kind of oppression or just situations like we're pinpointed, you know? It's not just they're just throwing information out and it's going to stick to some people. Like they know how to pull our
infiltrate. Strength. They know how to infiltrate our minds, bro.
Right.
The people behind them are trained, bro. They're trained in how to brainwash, right?
Right.
And to infiltrate the mind of not just the weak, man, but it's unsuspecting victims.
Yeah,
right.
You don't blame them. You don't get mad at them.
Right.
You wake them up as their brother keeper. You know what I mean? You wake them up. You don't get upset at them. This is why when I have debates and stuff, I don't, you know, I do my best, you know, because I can only be called a slave house, you know, too many times. But I'm like, yo, you know what? But for the most part, I try to come, you know, polite. You know what I mean? And like really be like, yo, that's not what it is. You know, I'm gonna do some research, give them some facts. You know what I mean? So no, you don't blame them. You don't get mad at them because yeah, it's the higher people. They know who to point at and who to give information to.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why every election, the Democrats, something big happens, you know what I mean? Some kind of race thing going on. Because that's their biggest narrative, that's their biggest narrative that they like to go off of. You know what I mean? Because they know who to point at. They know to point at the sleepy folks.
Right. Okay, here goes right here. Man, it's so crazy like when you really think about stuff, man. It really is. It's like we're supposed to be a certain way, right? So I'm listening to K-Day. For people who don't know, Real 92. For people who don't know, that's a radio station out here on the West Coast that plays hip hop, right? So there's a couple perceptions being made by this message, right? I'm listening to the radio, and I hear Michelle Obama saying whatever she's saying. You know, there's a commercial, so I was halfway tuned in, but I heard towards the end of her message something along the lines of, if they don't want Trump to be in office anymore, then to vote for Biden, XYZ, right? And then the DJ like put his dubs on what she had to say and was like, yeah, see, Michelle Obama knows what she's talking about, so listen to her, right? So ding, this was like what went off in my head. First of all, are they under the perception that people who listen to hip hop,
right?
Like everybody who listens to hip hop is a Democrat, right? So y'all gonna force feed this message to them,
right?
It's not people who even identify with the same culture that we do. There's no perception or assumption that they may think differently, you know? So opposed to just giving us information and letting us research it and then determine how we feel about it, they're trying to push us and think a certain way. And even if that's the way that I thought, you know, I'm being neutral throughout this whole pod. Even though that's the way I thought, even if that's the way I thought, I'm gonna still look like, yo, why do you have to encourage me to think a certain way instead of giving me the information and then allowing me to perceive it how I do, you know? And that right there is like, bing, like, what are y'all trying to do? What are y'all trying to do? Is just straight up tell me, like, this is it, without even telling me anything, you know, without telling me any actual information, just giving me opinions and saying this is the opinion that you should have because you hip hop. So you got to be a Democrat. So you got to listen to what she got to say and not mess with Trump. Like,
yeah, and
like don't play our intelligence. You feel me,
dude? They know exactly where to go. They think we're dumb. They had a Brandy versus Monica battle the other day. A Brandy versus Monica battle. You know the two singers. A million people in there watching. They had Kamala Harris come on, the only guest. The only guest. Oh. Kamala Harris come on there, bro, and talk. We're talking about voting and you know what I mean?
Oh, I thought she
Like,
was just
how
in the
desperate
comments.
can it be? No, they had her come on that little TV in the middle. How desperate can you get, bro? And the sad thing is, bro, the only argument is that Trump's a bad president. You get what I'm saying? They're not saying what they're gonna do for us. They're not saying nothing like that. They're just saying, look, you want a better president. You know, they're not even going into depth.
No, and even if they are, that's not what's being highlighted.
Right.
You know, they like they could say, hey, don't vote for Trump because what he's doing is not cool, and we're gonna change this, and this is the law that we have that we're gonna propose. They're not saying none of that. And if they are saying it, it's like, hey, this is Trump, you know, this is this. But yeah, you don't even want him, so you know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, when you vote for us, then you know we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, you know. But don't just don't vote for him though.
They whisper their policies because their policies are crap. Okay? What they want to do to the people is crap. Okay,
they're just trying to play us.
You get what I'm saying? They want to take away our guns. They want to take away our religion. They want to raise taxes. They want to start this new world order. Their policies are crap. Okay, straight up. I like Michelle Obama said. It is what it is. No, she did not. It is what it is.
What are you talking about,
man? It's
like,
sad,
stop!
man.
You do not talk like that.
They're trying to learn urban language because that's what they're aiming. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're aiming. They can't, you know what I mean? Like, and it's sad, man. I love my brothers and sisters, but they think that you're dumb. They think that you're dumb.
That's the problem right there.
Broadcast. You think that they're going on our stations and want to go on Brandy and Monica's versus battle because they actually care about you? No, they think you're dumb.
They think you're an idiot. Period. All right. So next up, we got. Okay, so did y'all see the trending or hashtag protect black women? I seen a video and I'm gonna show you guys.
You just flicked a cigarette against my head, bro. What you said? I'm telling you, you're not gonna disrespect another black female out here. Now you saying bless you. You just said she gonna get what she want, right? And we told you you're not gonna disrespect her.
When you feel the energy of unwantedness, it's enough. We see you, and then you continue going. You don't need to enforce.
You don't ever in your life disrespect my sister, bro. That's word to my mother, bro.
And she beautiful.
I don't give a fuck what you say.
And she beautiful.
What you say to her is that.
Say she beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Say you are beautiful.
You are beautiful.
All right, that's it.
All right, so the hashtag protect black women, right? And in this video, we just seen two black guys that I guess the white guy said something offensive to the black woman or something they took as offensive to the black woman, right? And I guess they called themselves protecting her. And in a way, you could say that they were, but then they started to go into, now say she's beautiful in his face, you know, like basically in a threatening manner, like forcing this man to call this woman beautiful that he might not even find beautiful. I have a take on this, right? Protect black women. If we are going to start protecting black women as black men, then we have to stop cheating on black women. We have to stop leaving black women with kids to raise them on their own. We have to stop getting locked up, doing things to lead to us locked up. I'm not talking about people who are falsely accused and locked up. I'm talking about actually going out and committing crime that leads us into prison and being taken away from black women and children, right? We have to stop objectifying black women in our music videos, in our music. We have to stop all of that. If it's really about protecting black women, it's not about going up to white people and feel like you punking them or beating them up because they said something to a black woman and forcing them into calling someone beautiful they might not find beautiful. Maybe the guy did, maybe he didn't, but you're going to force him to say, oh, she's a beautiful woman. What if he doesn't find her attractive? Okay, if we are going to protect black women,
what if he said,
you know, what if he didn't find her attractive?
Right. Look, you know? I'm all about protecting black women, man. I'm all about protecting. If I see a woman in general going through some kind of distress with somebody messing with them, I'm about protecting them. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm all about protection when it comes to the female gender in general. As far as trying to shove something down somebody's throat and make them do something or make them call somebody beautiful, something like that. You know what I mean? That's unnecessary. You know, if somebody's doing something wrong towards a woman, though, of course I'm all about protecting them. You know what I mean? And let that be that. I don't need to go the extra route and be like, now say she's beautiful. Now kiss her toes. Now kiss her hand. Now bow, bow. I need to do all that. You know what I mean? But of course I'm about protecting my. Of course I'm about protecting my women. Period.
I feel like this is what like we have these problems with these messages. You know, protect black women, Black Lives Matter. You know, which I hope we get into. Uh, like we look at things and then we try to dissect and decide like this is what I'm gonna apply instead of looking at the whole message, right? So that definitely falls in line with what you're saying. Is how the first thing I'm looking at is how can I expect somebody to do something that I don't do for myself? That's the first thing, right? So if I'm telling you, hey, bruh, I don't really like how you talking to this lady right here, you know, correct that, and then we cool, right? And then he bounces, and then I smack her butt, and I'm like, yeah, come on, this my B or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, watch how you talking to my B. You know, we try to fight the problem with the problem, you know, and in some cases, that almost feels like that's the only effective way. But in the case of when we speaking about these issues, like being conscious of how we perceive the black woman, it's like we have to lead by example. For sure, in this case, we have to lead by example. Right. And aside from leading by example, we have to recognize what the actual message is saying, you know? Because we look at protect, we think the word protect, and automatically some people's mind goes to militants or to being aggressive, you know? It's like to protect from the threat, you know? But we have to recognize that it's not just one threat. We have to recognize what are we actually protecting them from, you know? We got to protect them not only from the encounters that they have, but the way that they feel society perceives them, you know? As men with black nieces and daughters, it's for sure our responsibility to protect them, to let them know this not even what you're supposed to be dealing with, to have to be in this type of situation, you know? And I'm not sure exactly what the issue was that you showed the video. You know, I'm not all the way sure what the problem was that led up to that. To my understanding, if it was like some kind of verbal situation, some kind of verbal exchange between this white or non-black man and this black woman, like all our responsibility was, as far as stepping into, was to prevent that, you know? Now going past the point of antagonizing and trying to make an example of this person, and we don't understand that could be fuel to something that he's gonna do now. You know, we went from, hey, you said something disrespectful to this woman, chill out. We went from that to now, I'm gonna kill this black MF because of all the, because I just had you bow down to this woman. I had you do the most. Like I took it past the point. You know, the punishment was worse than.
Now he's embarrassed to the point where his embarrassment.
We just have to be conscious, man. We have to be conscious of all of 360. We like to look at one thing and focus so hard on that and not recognize the 17 other things that are closer proximity that we can deal with. Just like you said, it's to be the examples of what we want the image of a black woman to be as black men, you know. And I myself have been guilty of dropping the ball on that, you know. So before I go and try to beat up the white man, I'm gonna make sure that I'm respecting my sister, who is down the street from me, who can call me, and I'm gonna ignore her call, and I'm not gonna help her out until it's a problem, until she's telling me that this white man is doing X, Y, Z to her, you know. And the sister I'm speaking of, she's married to a white guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We, like you talked about being the example, right? from a Christian perspective and following Christ's perspective, if you are being the example and you are leading, right, and you are showing people Christ, that's going to happen anyway. You're going to show the right example. You're going to show people how to handle people in different situations. You're not whether the guy's white, whether the guy's black, nine times out of listen, nine
Right.
times out of 10, the threat to black men and black women is in the community that they live in, right? And nine times out of 10, it's not going to be some Nazi KKK member. Okay. So people like to post up these videos, you know what I'm saying, and show white people saying something disrespectful or this or that. Listen, man, yes, you have racist white people. Okay, you have racist white people in the world. You have racist black people in the world. You have racist Asian people in the world. I myself have been a victim of such racism. Okay, but at the end of the day, man, it's like people blowing racism out of proportion. Okay, people are, and this is going into, but it's still kind of the people have been blowing, people are blowing racism out of proportion. All you're seeing right in the news is trying to turn black against white. You know what I'm saying? That's what's been happening lately, and it's mostly turning Republican against Democrat or liberal against conservative. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, look, if we just
It,
as Christians,
it,
if you call yourself a
it
Christian, if you
seems
call yourself somebody that follow Christ, if we just look to Christ as an example and stop looking to the media and stop looking to social media and stop looking to celebrities on how to treat each other, things wouldn't be this way. Period.
right. The further we get away from God, the worse things are. And people say they're fighting for equality, and I can see that when in a lot of cases where that is what people are doing. But there are so many people out here who aren't doing that. There's so many people out here who are fighting racism, what they call racism. What racism? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people, man, it seems like they're becoming the oppressors. And at a point, it's just gonna be a civil war. You know what I mean? So what are you fighting for? You know what I mean? Like, are you fighting for equality, or what you say you're fighting for? Are you fighting? Or are you trying to be the dominant race? You get what I'm saying? We are all equal. You get what I'm saying? I don't care about black, white, yellow, or brown. You get what I'm saying? We are all God's children. Now, when you start acting like you're better than somebody, you take yourself out of that lane, and that's not true. You know what I mean? Unless you're some kind of somebody who don't believe in God and something like that, you know what I mean? Then you just you're a loop de loop. Get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we're all God's children. Okay? We are God's children. It does not matter about the pigment of our skin. This is a ridiculous fight that's been going on for years, and now it's getting crazy right now, man. And I just if it continues how it is, bro, it's gonna start some kind of civil war. It definitely is.
Yep.
So
All right.
we could just pray for the best and hope for the best. You know what I mean? And
Let's get into your segment, bro.
I think we just laid down mine right now with the
We did.
with the black dot. Yeah. We really
Oh my
did.
God.
Either you or Wade brought that in, but we can
Look,
still
it
talk
was
about
42 minutes.
look, we can still talk about something though. Real quick thing that's real mind boggling. You can give me some lightning. I don't understand how, and you could do this when you go on the browser and you put in Antifa.com. Let me make sure this is still happening right now.
It's happening.
Antifa.com takes you to Joe Biden's website. JoeBiden.com.
Try it. It's facts.
Things is so in your face, it's ridiculous. They don't care no more. Okay? How you going to Antifa.com and then it takes you right to JoeBiden.com? That's mind-boggling to me. It's right in our faces. You get what I'm saying? It's right in our faces, man. We're not paying attention to it, and we need to start paying attention to it. And that's what we're gonna bring to the people. Woke 2x. That's exactly what we're bringing to you guys. Bringing to you guys facts and our opinions. You know what I'm saying? This has been another great episode. Hope you guys got something out of this. I know I have. Win. Corey, hope you guys have. It's been a great episode, man. It's been beautiful. Thank you for being on today, Win. We appreciate you. We respect you, my brother. You know what I mean? Share this video, comment, subscribe. We love you guys, and we'll be back next week for another episode. Love you. Peace.
Wake 'em up, 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 wake 'em up. It's time to wake up the sleeping. It's time to wake up the sleeping.